Hi, my name is Leslie Pyle. I'm the founder of HireMyMom.com. And as women and moms, or even as men, we have bodies, and our bodies sometimes don't cooperate, and we come to a point in our life where we have some health issues. And that's why I wanted to speak to Makenna Lewis today. She has a fascinating story about her health journey, and I think it's going to provide a lot of hope to anyone who is suffering with any kind of incurable disease that can be cured in many cases. So, Makenna, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story with our audience.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I love how you go incurable because there is absolutely a cure for autoimmune patients. So, yeah,
Exactly.
let's.
Okay, so let's dive right into your health journey, starting with the first symptoms you noticed. And perhaps it was just something that didn't feel right about your body or something that just didn't feel like yourself. So, how did that start for you?
Yeah, so it all began back in 2013 as I was starting college. It was horrible timing. I was dealing with weight fluctuations, hair loss, skin rashes, racing heart rate, facial swelling, brain fog, fatigue. The list goes on. I couldn't deal with those symptoms anymore. And so I went to the campus hospital, and the nurse I saw there told me to get a hold of an endocrinologist immediately because my heart rate was dangerously high. And so after that, I got diagnosed with Graves' disease by an endocrinologist in Houston. And those of you who don't know what Graves' disease is, it is a thyroid autoimmune condition that targets your thyroid hormones, increasing it. So it increases your heart rate, it increases your metabolism, and can cause so many crazy health issues. So that's when I was diagnosed with the disease. And there's also a time when my thyroid was so inflamed, it was 20 times the normal size of a healthy thyroid. And so throughout college, I was put on different prescriptions to control these symptoms that resulted from the disease. So if you would like to show some of the photos of where it all began, that would be great, just so people could kind of see what was going on there. Yeah. So those were the hives all over my body. And I was on steroid medication, allergy pills to try to control that. But it was something I was taking every day to mask those symptoms. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so unfortunately, that's what my college really looked like. It was taken by this mystery disease. And I like to call it a mystery disease because Western medicine provides no cause or cure for chronically ill patients. And so the doctor that I was seeing at the time saw my thyroid as such a troublemaker that he wanted to destroy the thyroid itself with radioiodine. However, I did not go that route. So, yeah.
Okay, so do you have any theories for why an autoimmune condition develops?
Yeah. So our medical community will lead autoimmune patients to believe that your thyroid is attacking itself. It's attacking itself. You can't heal it. It's your body's just going haywire. And I did believe that for a long time. I think 4 years while I was dealing with the disease, I thought my body is faulty. It's attacking itself. It's weak. But today, I do not believe this to be true. Our immune systems don't all of a sudden become confused and go after our own organs. That's not how the Creator created our bodies. An autoimmune disease is simply an imbalance in the biological system from either environmental toxins, stress, or Epstein-Barr virus. And a lot of people will be like, oh, well, genetics plays a huge role in that too. It does, but it's not what causes autoimmune diseases. Your environment plays a much more profound role than genes in autoimmune disease. So I believe it involves a perfect storm of events that line up just right. Genes can make a person more susceptible to developing an autoimmune disease, but it won't show up until a trigger is involved. A trigger meaning a virus, pathogen, toxin, or stress. And that's why a lot of people will notice that they develop these autoimmune conditions after a stressful event in their life.
And I think you had said you had a stressful event prior to this, so that might have contributed to this event happening.
I do think it was, I think that was a big part of it.
Yes. So what are some resources that got you started on your path to healing?
Yeah, so after the doctors that I saw basically told me that there was no hope for me and my disease would be something that I struggle with forever, I really started to dig deep into root cause research and learned that there are alternatives. So you can heal yourself and reverse autoimmune disease. But in my opinion, you have to become your own health expert.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially because most doctors are only masking the symptoms with prescriptions that have really harsh side effects. They're not fixing the root cause of the issue. So my journey started out by reading all of the medical medium books by Anthony Williams and really cleaning up my diet, eliminating environmental toxins and stress. And I became super passionate about this research that I dove deeper into more by Dr. Ben Lynch and Kate Deering. And so once I started applying the things I was learning and reading, I really started noticing changes in my body.
Mm-hmm. So how important do you think what you were eating? Because you went through a season where you were very strict on healing your body. And what were you doing in that season?
Yeah, so in that, I was doing a lot of different things, experimenting with a lot of the things that I had learned from those books. So a big part of my healing journey was juicing every single day. First thing in the morning, I juice my celery juice. And then I would snack on a ton of fruit, clean meats, whole foods, stayed away from all inflammatory foods. And I literally witnessed a big part of it was diet, but a lot of it was mindset and lifestyle changes too.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say a big part of it was those dietary changes when I noticed.
So do you now continue to have a certain style or specific way of eating?
Yeah, so I don't have a specific way of eating. I really eat to nourish my body now, and I do this because I've invested a lot of time that I know what foods fuel my body and nourish me well and what don't. Over time, as I've healed my body and balanced my thyroid hormones, I've been able to reintroduce certain foods without repercussions. So I eat a lot of protein, fruits, and restrict dairy and gluten intake. I stay away from processed and inflammatory foods, and I stick to real food. The first thing when I wake up, I juice my celery, and then I usually have pasture raised eggs, which I actually stayed away from for a really long time because I thought that eggs were, I mean, they can be inflammatory if you're struggling with a disease.
Mm-hmm.
But after you put your disease in remission, you can actually reintroduce those highly nutritious foods, such as eggs. So I eat eggs all the time now. I eat uncured bacon, homemade pico. Lunch is usually leftovers from the night before and a fruit smoothie. And dinner is usually more protein, healthy, salmon or grass-fed beef with some sort of healthy carb. But I eat a ton of fruit because fruit is the most virus-fighting, anti-inflammatory foods on the planet, and it's so good.
Yes, it is. And the bonus to that is that you just feel healthy, you look healthy, and it improves you in so many ways. I mean, your skin, it's like full body healing. And that's why what we eat is so important, whether you're trying to just be healthy, not even having anything to do with weight loss, just feeling good and feeding your body nourishing foods.
Oh, absolutely. You can think more clearly, when you feed
Yes.
your body those things. So
Yes, 100%. Were
absolutely.
there any supplements that you found really beneficial while you were healing yourself?
Yes, I take zinc, L-lysine, vitamin D, liver support supplements, and probiotics every day to keep my body strong. And I mention a lot of my favorite brands in my ebook that I wrote. So
yeah, and we will talk about that in a bit. So How do you talk about your mindset earlier? So how do you think your mindset contributed to your health journey?
Yeah, so mindset was a huge contributor for me. Having a positive mindset and practicing slow living, meditation can shift your body from a fight or flight stress mode to a rest, digest, heal mode. So
Mm.
your mindset can be a huge contributor to promoting healing or sickness. And showing yourself grace and love while you're trying to heal is so important because it's not an overnight achievement. And it's important to note that people with autoimmune disease, such as myself, often have multiple root causes, not just one.
Mm.
This means that there's often quite a bit of trial and error and peeling back the layers of the onion to get to the core of the problem. So, having a positive mindset and grace with yourself during this process is so important.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's talk about that ebook. So I'm sure that there's people that are watching that are like, hey, I want to know more about this journey and about it may not be an autoimmune disease. It could be something as simple as inflammation or bloating or a whole host of things that what you did can help a variety of people. So tell us about your ebook and what led you to want to share that and create that.
Yes, absolutely. So it is for anyone struggling with an autoimmune disease or chronic illness. Anything that a doctor's telling you is incurable in a way. So yeah, I just released this ebook called Restored, where I share in detail everything I've learned over the last 8 years or so while healing my body naturally in order to help others do the same. So, inside the book, it shares the truth behind autoimmune disease and how to eat to beat disease. It
Mm.
also includes several of my favorite recipes. I think I put about 15 recipes in there. It includes supplement brands and a detailed product list for detoxifying your home. And I'm really excited to see how I can help people that are struggling with autoimmune disease or chronic illness because I've been there. I know how difficult and frustrating it is.
Yes.
But I want those people to know that there are alternatives and there is healing. Your whole body will begin to improve when you work on your health naturally and strengthen the immune system with the right foods and supplements. And if you follow along my ebook, you will literally witness your body rebuild itself from the ground up.
Absolutely. And we will
Yeah.
include a link in the caption below on how you can learn more about Makenna and her ebook and follow her on social media. So what I did not tell y'all is that Makenna is my daughter. And I told her, I said, I don't want to come across as the mom who's got to input and give all my side of the story because I'm tempted to do that when Makenna talks about her health. But this is her story, and I wanted her to share it from her point of view. And one thing that I love that we didn't touch on is that when Makenna had her second baby, when you were pregnant and they did your blood work, what did they tell you?
They said your thyroid hormones are perfect. Like you don't need prescription. You're good. And
Right.
at the time I wasn't getting my blood work done because I was like, I feel good. Like I don't need to spend extra money on blood work. But when I was pregnant and they needed these lab results, like it was just proof that like my changes in my lifestyle and diet like worked.
Right. Because they
Yeah.
said you had no sign of Graves' disease in your blood, right? It had completely
Yes.
gone dormant. Now I'm
It
guessing,
was, yeah, it's dormant.
right. So
Mhm.
I'm guessing if you went crazy and got stressed out and threw your diet out the window and did everything wrong again, it could come back. But you have no signs again. You don't break out in those awful rashes. Y'all, those rashes were awful. It's hard for me to look at those pictures because I remember them in real time. But it's
Mhm.
just such a beautiful story of allowing our bodies to heal the way God designed them to and treating them the way God designed them to. So this whole journey with Makenna really opened my eyes to holistic health too. And so, it's been a journey that I've learned a lot through her journey, and it's inspired me to be more in tune with my own body. So I really have incorporated some of these same things in my life. And I can't tell you, like, the brain fog, the clarity, the energy, and all the changes that happen in your body when you treat it the way God designed, and whole foods
Mhm.
and healthy eating and de-stressing your life and all of those things. So any final
Yeah.
words, Makenna, that you want to share that we didn't touch on?
I really think we covered it all, and I really appreciate you mentioning that a lot. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So again, I'll link things in the captions so that you can learn more about and go learn about her ebook and all that if you'd like. So thank you for joining us. And here's to better health for all of us.
Yes.